Good morning, everyone. I'm here to do another reading. I'm not at home this morning. I was guided to a very special place that I like to come when I need extra motivation, support, when I need to clear and heal and just kind of reset myself after usually a pretty big release. So, for those of you who tuned into my reading last night, or even any of the readings that I've done since I've started my channel, you'll see that we are clearing the timelines of Atlantis currently for many of us. So it's not a surprise that I was guided to this beautiful water source this morning, which I'll show you shortly. I'm sure you can hear the water flowing in the background. And it can be very healing just to hear the sound of that water. And I'm holding space here for us. So just take a few seconds here to set your intentions here today for this release and healing, and take in beautiful new energy that we're going to be able to receive through these messages, both from our counterparts and the divine. So welcome to my channel if you're new. Please subscribe, leave comments if you'd like. No pressure to do so. So I'm just going to show you the water source now, and the main energy here is the King of Cups, and not a surprise. There are a few crystals that I have set up here next to him, and again, all of my readings are impromptu, and it's truly divinely guided because I simply follow the guidance. And usually what happens is I receive that nudge to kind of get myself organized, and then I pull from the environment that I'm in that moment to create the spread. So I don't plan this ahead of time, and it's always so beautiful to me how it all comes together. It's so powerful. And when you're truly in mission and connected to source in the way that you were intended to be, because we co-create, it's a beautiful relationship, and it's just so incredible, and I'm just so grateful. So I'd like to say thank you right now to my team that always guides me and supports me. You can take a moment too to thank your team and call them in right now if you'd like. All right, so I'm just gonna move my camera up here so you'll see I live in northern Canada, so it's the winter season right now, and how blessed are we to be able to enjoy all of these seasons and the benefits that come. Even with the cold weather, it provides us healing at a level that we normally wouldn't be able to achieve if we lived in another part of the world. So this is not an accident for those who are in these environments. It's just very much important that you do take the time to really connect with Gaia in that way, because again, we're here to heal each other and help each other always. So you'll see this beautiful King of Cups here. I'm sensing this morning that some of these masculines are having a really difficult time because they're upset with themselves for not coming forward. They're frustrated. So that tells me that there's a block here. So hopefully with this energy that we're gonna bestow them today, they'll be able to hopefully do the work that they need to do to clear those blocks that are preventing them from coming forward in this authentic King of Cups way. All right. So I'm getting a lot of these masculines are at home right now, so they're not typically doing what they would normally do. Today is a Saturday here for me, but just take it as it resonates, like a day off, okay, where they're not responsible to do the day-to-day tasks if they have a job or a business, and so what they normally would want to do, they're not able to because their energy has dropped drastically, and they're kind of stuck in their head, feeling heavy emotion. So again, that's not an accident. That happens in order to for them to stop, to the divine's trying to get their attention, to say, okay, you're feeling this now, don't avoid it, you need to feel it to heal it. So it's an opportunity for them to not be distracted and to really take the time to think about what it is that they truly do want, and then be able to then, after that acknowledgement and awareness and healing, to step into their power to be able to make the shifts that they need to bring in all the beautiful new things that they really do want in their life. So it's kind of like that right before stage step where they're just stubborn and frustrated, and it doesn't take much for us to kind of fall back into these old patterns. So this is probably right on point for me to be here, because they really have good intentions, and this is really what they truly do want, is to be able to move forward and let go. And I feel like letting go, it's not a person, place, or thing. They've already done that. It's more letting go of the feeling that they're not going to be able to control everything, and they're not going to be able to control their other partner like they tried to do in the past, and what they tried to do in these other relationships where it didn't work. And in fact, they ended up pulling in a partner that was struggling in that same way, but like really bad. So it would really be obvious to them, like, whoa, I don't like this. Okay, well, of course, right? Nobody would. So it's to bring in balance. So in order for that balance to be brought into the union, they need to be balanced themselves. So I just feel like it's a little bit of a struggle of letting go of the control, the need to control. And that usually comes from a place of fear. Fear because they don't feel safe and secure in that foundation in their life, where something probably happened that didn't make them feel safe or nurtured in a way that they could kind of let their guard down, so, or trust to work with that other person, or trust that everything will be fine because they're okay, and they're in that space with good intentions. And sometimes, some things could happen, and life isn't perfect, and it's all about being able to really process those things in a way that's fair, and not project things onto other people, and really own their own stuff. And you teach people how to treat you as well, and just really make sure that you have good boundaries in place, and that you don't tolerate or allow things to be in your life or to happen to you that aren't appropriate. All right. And I do feel like Divine Feminine, you really have challenged them in that aspect by really speaking your truth at different times, and really sharing what you'll allow and not allow, and what you expect if there's to be a reunion. Okay. So this is a twin double-pointed clear quartz that's together, and it's on a piece of strawberry quartz here that's raw, and I found this piece myself here. So the Apollo as well, everything is really protecting the union, and that third energy is really what I see usually when I work in the fields, and this is represented here by this tree. As you can see, it's beautiful, and that gold energy, right? And the selenite is incredible, and it's just really keeping everything nice and stable. The piece of selenite here on the bottom is that platform that our structures are on right now, and it's cleared, it's clear, it's clean, it's supported, everything's fine. So I'm not getting with this masculine here, like he's done all that work. It's more in his mind. See that big old crown there? He probably needs to take that off. You don't need that. These timelines with this type of thing, like that was all very egoic, power and control. They attributed these types of things as beauty. That's not really what beauty is about. especially when there are people around them that would have been extremely ill or lived in poverty. Okay, when that to me is a significant imbalance. Now that's historical, you know. I don't know why I was triggered by the crown, but I just feel like maybe there are some material things right now too that he's struggling with, or a point of view or a thought process around thinking that he might not have enough money to provide if he were to want to merge a family with his. You know, and again, divine masculine, you don't own that by yourself. It is not your job to take care of other people. When you come into these really high, divinely, these high vibrational unions with a higher level of consciousness and evolution, you really do share all of those things with your divine counterpart. It's imbalanced because it's shared. It doesn't fall on the shoulders of one person. Okay, so again, these are old patriarchal belief systems that really, however they came to be, formed within his psyche here, probably through exposure of these numerous timelines. Not the Atlantis one, that was a completely different way of functioning in terms of society and community. It's not at all like the way we see it today. Okay, there was no currency at that time. And the way that people healed and functioned looked very different, and it was a lot of the crystals embedded within the earth and the water in the space that those communities were developed. So it's different, but this is why we're so drawn to crystals for those of us who are from that timeline. Okay, I'm getting more messages here from him. So it's also a release of fear that, say, for example, he's starting to remember some of these things with the crystals, that it's okay, like, it's okay to enjoy them. It's okay to feel that there's a vibration coming from them and that there is power and healing within them. And that if it's something that's different for this masculine and it's not supported by other people that he knows, that's fine. He needs to really trust in his own guidance and intuition, and even if it veers him on a completely different path than where he's been for a very long time, then that's okay. He needs to accept that, but not because anybody tells him to, or he's made to feel like he has to. It really does need to come from him, from within, and in a way that's peaceful and balanced, and that he can trust that it's truly a benefit to him. All right, so I just saw my masculine take the crown off and throw it onto the ground. Some are refusing to do that, and that's okay. They're not ready. So let's just pause here and separate now the energies. And so we're going to move on with the group that is willing to take that crown off. So I'm going to surround that previous group with light language so they can be safe, at least for the time being, so they can continue to do the work that they need to do to feel safe and ready to be able to take that crown off to receive new information that's going to be waiting for them. So the second part of the reading will be available to those people when they're ready, if and when. And no judgment, you know, that's fine. Not everybody moves forward in the same way at the same time. So do you see how my car mirror there is obstructed? And that's a good thing, because mirror and moon magic is not always a good thing if it's done with ill intention. So I'm happy to see that it's not something that is a problem for us at this time, or any longer, for those who have really released the use of energies like that we would have probably used in the past in a misguided way. However that came to be, and again, no judgment. We've all been through a lot of these lessons, most of us, and this is why some of us are at the stage that we're at here in this timeline today, at this very poignant time, to be able to come into full union with self, back to our original blueprint, back to the way that we were meant to be able to assist this planet in ascending up to a level that's required, because this old way of functioning doesn't exist and can't exist because it didn't work and it's not working anymore. So this is why we are being pushed and challenged here to really step into our full power and authenticity, to be able to bring these new light codes in, right? To be able to assist everyone who is ready to move up into this new plane of existence, to do that. All right, he's feeling much better. He has shame because what's happening is I'm seeing him still. So he's not sitting on this chair either, he's kneeling. So anytime there's my masculine kneels like that spiritually, there's shame, there's embarrassment, there's a bit of avoidance because they're nervous. And it's not easy to face the world when you know that you've done things that weren't the best, you know, that you made decisions in haste or from a material perspective because you were terrified that you would be poor, or if you didn't let go of something that you would not be able to survive. And you need to do your forgiveness work to be able to move past that. And that can't be rushed. Okay? That can't be rushed. And I'm sensing that they've done that work, but it's been like they would do the work, they would carry on, something new would come into their life that would distract them, and off they go, and then they would be triggered to come back to where they left off before with that healing, and then have to keep going. Okay? You won't be allowed to enter that new space until you've done all of this work. That's just the way that it is. And it's okay if you veer off in different directions for a period of time and then need to come back. Today is one of those times where we're coming back to clean up probably a couple of little things before we step into that new energy that's coming. And he's saying thank you for not forcing the situation, for those divine feminines who have really been patient and truly honored the journey and their counterpart, and giving them space. But you did it in a way that was really nice and balanced, because you didn't completely remove yourself, but you removed yourself enough where they could feel like they could do the work that they need to do without feeling like they would be pressured. And the important part of that is, so if they're already feeling like they let themselves down or let you down, by you being there, it reminds them of that, because we mirror that. So you have to really know the energy and the energetics of the connection, because if you do too much one way or the other, it could create another big imbalance and create more space than would be healthy for the union. So it's really a scientific kind of equation that you really have to sort out and figure out. It's different for everybody, and the main concepts are the same though, but it's that push and pull, and you really need to know, and over time, trial and error, you'll have figured that out. Okay, so he's acknowledging that for you right now. He's saying thank you. So if you've done it in a conscious way, like I just explained, that's great. I'm fully aware most of the time, very aware. And the reason for that is so my gifts can be online. Okay, this is the problem. Like, you know, when your gifts are online, you can't turn off the emotional body. You can't turn off different parts of your structure. So with that comes so many other things, and it can be very distracting, very, very difficult. It can create huge imbalances if you're not able to really keep those things balanced, like keep all of those energies within you balanced. It's also how we process the incoming information and stimuli as well. That's why you need to take good care of yourself and have your mindfulness practice mastered. Not perfection. It's that mastery in the sense that you treat it like you would, like you eat. You know, we need nutrition to nourish our bodies so we stay strong and healthy. We need sleep. Okay, we need shelter. We need love. So your spiritual practice is no different. Okay? So So I had some cards fall to the ground. They're telling me to leave them. And we'll come back to what was on my lap here. But I'm seeing the Magician card reverse, which is great. Because we're not manifesting from a dark place or from a place of worry and concern anymore. So it's going to flow much better. It's going to be more successful, because it's really with intention that we manifest everything. So if that intention is not in a place where you truly believe and have faith, because you're still worried or you have doubt, it could kind of affect the way that manifestation comes in, okay? And there's no judgment. This isn't being critical. And it's not something you can just tell yourself to do. It takes a lot of practice to get to that mastery level, okay? What else am I seeing here? They do want me to pick up the Fool card, but in a second here. So I just want to go back here to my lap to show you the cards that were here and then channel the energies. So I'm just going to safeguard with light language our counterparts who are still in this energy of having come down off that pedestal there. If they put themselves up there to keep themselves safe, they don't need to be there. I'm noticing now this water, right? And the water that's flowing here, and the direction that this water source is going is to the past. So it's clearing a lot of past lives where we would have been in this energy like I just described, or currently clearing past pains, mistakes, hurts, all the stuff that needs to go, okay? So just let it go, Divine Masculine. So they're taking off their cloak now, their robe, so that's a good thing. And they're exposing their chest, their heart chakra area. And they feel like, with this release here, they just feel like they just took a deep breath and again came down in terms of releasing pressure. So they feel less pressured now with whatever it is they just released here. It's almost like they're accepting that they're not going to come. They felt like they needed to come in a certain way because they see you as so beautiful and spiritual now, and some of them don't feel that way right now, and that's okay. They don't need to come in with a certain like attitude or belief system. It's okay, Divine Masculine. We love you just the way that you are, okay? And if you want to open yourself up to some of a new spiritual way of being, then that will come. Okay, there's no pressure that you have to be like the feminine. It's everyone's own individuality is very important for it to be that way. If we all looked the same and acted the same, it wouldn't be very interesting. Okay, now it's not to say that you can't have things in common, and if you do, that's great, but there's still going to be a sense of individuality even though there's similarities. All right, so they feel stronger, and I'm seeing that crown and the like that, this cloak cape thing just it's gone. It just flew back here, almost like in the flow of this water here. And they're standing up now, and they feel strong, and they're just kind of like pumping up their chest here, and they're kind of moving around a little bit. And they have a jacket over top their shirt. That's a button shirt that's open there. And some of them it's a tie, but that it's open, and saying, okay, I'm comfortable here. So say, your counterpart's a business person with usually a shirt and tie, they're relaxing. They're going to relax right now and maybe take a vacation holiday if they haven't done that, because they need that. They need time to rest and regroup here if they want to pull this into their personal life and really improve their personal life. It could be that they've mastered and they're in a really good place because they committed all this time and energy with their business or their job. Now it's time to focus on themselves and their family and really pull in the life that they want. Like in this case, this masculine, the one like mine, like he feels ready. And like he doesn't need a break per se. He just feels like whatever little mind trap that he got caught in there, it's been cleared here. And he put on a different hat just to protect that crown chakra, but it's like it matches his outfit. It's like a brown, like beautiful, like velvet looking, soft material. There's no jewels or anything on it. It's just very comfortable. And this is the way that he wants to be able to move forward now, is this new attire. And he wants to look good for you when he sees you again, to have this chat, okay? Not necessarily formal, but just looks, he just wants to look good. And that's awesome. I love that. Okay, so we're just gonna heal and seal this. And just really help them ground this energy here. All right, so back to the cards here. So, you know, they're not in this energy of being confused, like I said, where they were in that hangman position for a very long time. And this is like multiple lives I'm talking about. This isn't just this life here. This is a block that they have been trying to clear for many, many lives. And I'm getting also that the spectrum was on the other end of things, where they took vows of poverty to the point where it was really detrimental to them. Okay, that is not in balance either. You can't help the world to a point where you feel impoverished yourself. That is not healthy or appropriate. Okay? And karma is not punishment. Okay, that is not the way that you balance out karma. So this would be an energy in the past where it was over-giving, and I know for me that's a huge one, and for my masculine even more. So I'm happy to see that for him now, he recognizes where he gave too much and he was depleted. And then it took away from his ability to take care of himself, take care of his relationship with you in the past. That won't be something that's going to repeat itself, because he knows it can't. And he knows he's much older now. Okay? And for those who have been on this journey for a long time, we're not in our 20s, 30s, some of us 40s, coming out of our 40s now, but we're not young like we once were. Okay? So he gets that, and he wants the second part of his life to be healthy, comfortable. If you're moving into retirement, that is a very tricky time of your life to enter, especially if you struggled prior to that, and there's still some work to be done to be comfortable. Okay, so that's interesting, and that really goes in line with what this masculine also probably was worrying about, and still wants to make sure that he continues to really come up with a good plan to be safe and secure long term, not only for himself but for his family as well. You've provided strength in a way that you don't realize, and he's not told you this because he had shame that you kind of got ahead of him a little bit in this area, in the material world, with work, investments, perhaps owning your own home. I know in my case, I worked really, really hard to establish myself independently, and that was important for me to learn how to do that. So I had to learn all about money, on how to manage money on my own. I had to learn about purchasing my home by myself, or taking care of my home and property by myself. That is not easy to do for anybody, especially when it's not something that I ever learned before, did before. Okay? So this is something they've been wanting to get back to, because in our case, you know, we kind of were in a situation where we weren't able to secure that at the time, and it's because we weren't ready. And so, you know, he's in a rental right now, and he's been trying to purchase a home, but with the economy and the inflation rates, even with the realtor section, like with like purchasing homes, it's more difficult, especially if you're alone. If you're two incomes, it's still challenging because it's a lot more expensive than it used to be, but imagine being on your own doing that. It's that much harder. So there's a reason for that as well, because he needed to learn and understand how he got into that position to begin with. Okay. But in the end, it will always work out in your favor if you learn the lesson, because the divine works with you always, and you're manifesting all the time. So, that will afford you freedom in a way that you wouldn't have had in other situations, even though it doesn't feel that way the whole time you're in it. Okay? That's another message I'm getting. But he's going to tell you how proud he is of you with regards to what I just talked about. That you were able to go off on your own and do it on your own. And they would have often had a difficult time to tell you that. They would have been happy, but they wouldn't have been able to really say it. And this King of Cups can be in that energy, we know that. They can withhold, right? Even though they feel it. But they've gotten over that, look, standing on top of it. But now it's speaking it. That's what I'm saying. And with this moon reversed, right? He doesn't want there to be secrets anymore. And there aren't secrets either in regards to past lives or lower vibrational energy that they really needed to clear in those lower parts of our structure, lower parts of the realms here. And this is what we're kind of coming out of in terms of ascending up higher into higher evolved timelines. And this is where kind of the planet and Gaia is moving up as well. Okay. And he's really leaning forward, looking towards the future now. And he's really happy that you have this foundation and strength, because it's going to afford the union strength and foundation as well. Because this isn't going anywhere. You're going to continue to grow from here and manifest even more in ways that you could never even imagine, okay? Because you're doing it in a really healthy way now. So the card that fell that I want to grab is it was the Fool card. And isn't that key? Because it's that new beginning. And he sees how he was foolish in the ways that he tried to go off on his own. He was too proud to admit he made mistakes, or that he should have stayed there to work things out with you, as opposed to seeing it as, I can do it on my own. I don't need her. She thinks that, she can do this on her own, then go. Because at that time where we kind of went our own ways, I was struggling with the fact that he withdrew so much and was in a very dark place. And I regret, looking back, that I had wounds of my own, like that I was triggered by him needing that space. And it was my wounds of abandonment in the past and the ways that people let me down. And I was so scared that, I would lose this connection. And I had to learn that, people need space and they need support sometimes in a way that is that space. And it doesn't mean that the person doesn't love you, even though they're not able to say it. And I had to learn all of that from that space of removing myself and us going our separate ways. I know it sounds counterproductive, but it wasn't. And I have all of these things that I do want to share with him, because I feel horrible that I wasn't able to be there for him in the way that he needed me, by giving him the space and trusting that he loved me, even though he couldn't tell me. Because he once told me that the most painful thing that he's ever experienced was our breakup. And even in that moment, I didn't even know how to respond to him years ago. I was in shock. I didn't even know, because I had so much healing still. I wasn't even ready to receive it at that time. And I want to apologize to him, because I can't imagine how much strength it took to share that. And then, I didn't say very much. It was more like an energy that we were exchanging, like I said, through the eyes, and just being in the room together and being very quiet. So do you see, Divine Masculine? It's not always you, we equally have so much work to do. But I feel like both have really sorted a lot of this out and understand it now from a healed place. And the fear is to come together, talk about it now. And that's coming here with the So I'm seeing here the masculine's going to rest today. They're going to lie down and really do the work that they need to do to be able to come into some more balance here with the way that they would have expressed themselves or not been able to express themselves. They're going to receive a clearing here right now. And it's being safeguarded here and protected, okay? So the crystals you've given your masculine in the past, they really do like them and they're using them. So they've got them everywhere. And they're going to be in the right positions and places to help them clear what needs to be cleared in order to be able to move forward and confront what needs to be confronted. So I just wanted to allow this clearing here. So the release, so we're just going to assist them in releasing. So just hold space for each other right now if you're feeling a release right now, and just let it go. And with the sound of that water, just picture it being transmuted and cleansed through that water. And sometimes the element of like the heat and cold, that's a temperance type of an energy. And so right now here anyhow, this water would be cold. Okay, and that doesn't mean anything bad. It just means that it's going to be forever released and transmuted, and what we're dealing with today and what we're healing today, we're not going to have to ever come back to heal and clear and release. This will be the final time. These are lingering lessons that we've been struggling and being able to release and learn and let go. So what I'm hearing right now, and it's 11:01, and it's 22 degrees, and 22 is a mastery number, right? It's 22 degrees in the vehicle and 0 degrees outside. 0 is a reset. And he is going to be able to communicate to you what he knows you're waiting to hear as a new starting point, and you're going to receive that call very soon, okay? For the ones that were successful and with this release. So I just want to show you this beautiful water source here. So just take in the beautiful energy from the water, the snow, and look at those beautiful cedars there across this river here. Look at that. And isn't it amazing with the snow? We have a pretty big snowfall this morning, so. And I love this park here, and I often in the summer, spring and fall will come and lay under those trees there across the way and just meditate. I did a lot of healings here as well in my early stage of awakening, where I really needed the support of nature to really help me release the things that I needed to release. And it was a lot of tears, but I love how these trees have matured. They weren't this big before. So it's kind of another message for me, like I've grown as well and I've matured as well, and our unions have matured in this way, and our masculines, our counterparts have too. So that's really, really good. So I'm just going to pause and I'm going to reset myself. They want me to move now as in the passenger side, move back in the driver's seat here, and there's a couple other little things that they want me to pull. So I'll pause and then I'll come back and we'll close up the reading. So in the meantime, stay in meditative state and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. So I just pulled a few other cards here. I heard hello, goodbye. So there's a tempering of an energy here. Do you see that temperance card? I was talking about that mixing of the cold and the heat earlier. But we're really letting go, again, this period where we felt left behind, we felt like we didn't have enough, we felt like we were left out in the cold and ignored when really we weren't. with that Six of Swords there, it's incredible that these 3 cards really summarize everything that we talked about. So it's confirming that we are ready to put that into drive here as I'm sitting in the driver's seat and move forward in this new energy here. Okay. So this is the energy that I heard stuck. So some of us haven't been able to move forward from this energy. This is where we are right now. Okay, wanting to move forward, we just haven't taken that step. And you see here the balancing of the negative and the positive here. We're going to be able to overcome that struggle. Just and any health issues you might have been having lately, you're going to see an improvement with these releases and clearings, okay? Because it's going to remove the blocks where that healing that your body's trying to go through, from the healing will be able to come in now, because the flow, the meridians are going to be much more clear and open, okay? For all of the healing that your body's trying to bring in. So it's very important to stay on top of all of your treatment plans, and that's across the board, you know, with your doctors, if it's physical, if it's emotional, with your counselors, therapists, psychiatrists, psychologists, psychotherapists, social workers, and if it's not a professional person, if it's just a trusted friend, family member, spiritual teacher, a religious support person, if you're religious and have a really good relationship with the person that you have a relationship with in regards to that part of your faith. So that's wonderful. And you see here, we're not waiting anymore. He's not waiting anymore. He's going to take that step forward that he needs to, and he was the one really driving that boat, and the other person was resting with the child. So there is a rest period, definitely for both counterparts, especially with children. But it's time to move, and I'm getting right now that the person also standing up is the divine, and the divine is, and as I'm saying that, it's 11:11. Look at that. So it's saying, let them take the driver's seat for a little while. You enjoy your time with your children, rest. And that's on both sides, okay? Because it's coming. And your counterpart, the one who's tasked with, you know, bringing in conversation, because of the fact that they are the ones that stepped away and really are the ones that asked for time, that's okay. They're going to get the nudge, and they'll know when it's the right time to come in. Okay. So they've had to clear, and you hear my throat chakra, they've had to clear some X energy from X's. And sorry, as I was switching sides back to the driver's side here, I was getting some downloads around the fact that if there are X partners aside from your counterpart, that where there's unresolved issues, you're going to need to sort that out. And if for whatever reason you were aware of it or not on a conscious level, it'll come in now, and you'll have an opportunity to do that. And it'll be important for you to do that, because that needs to be free and clear before you can enter into, you know, this new life that you're creating. And we've already manifested it, so it's really important to be very aware and pay close attention as these people come back, if they do come back. So for example, the other thing that I was getting is, like, some of our counterparts struggled with the fact that we may have entered into some other relationships, you know, for us to do what we needed to do, and they did, but you know, when we did, it became a whole different thing for them. It was like, well, wait a minute. Well, That's a double standard, and that's a very toxic energy to have. And so no judgment, but it needed to happen in that way so they could become aware, right? That, wait a minute, why do I feel this way? You know, if I wasn't willing to be with her, then she should be able to be with whoever she wants. So why do I feel jealous or envy, you know? And they could have tried to interfere, maybe not, but it would have been very difficult for them, and they would have been angry and probably projected onto you all sorts of things that weren't appropriate. So I was getting some of that too. And for some of you, if that's also things you need to talk about, you might kind of become this energy divine feminine, and some of us have to, because you need to protect yourself. Like this archetype here can take care of business like there's no tomorrow. Try her. Okay? Now she can, in an unbalanced way, she can be nasty, right? We know that. This is not about being nasty at all. It's that, hear them out. If you need time to think before you respond, think. Take that time. But it's very important, and I keep getting, when you come into that point of communication about some of these very difficult things, it needs to be done with respect. And if it gets heated, take a break. Step away. Okay? Step away. I'm not feeling like it's going to be. I feel like it will get heated, but both sides understand that. It's okay. It's not easy. They're going to want to know, the other side, that you've cleared your side of the street, and we're going to want to know the same thing, and they're going to tell us. Okay? And if they haven't, they won't come forward. They won't, because they know, and the divine won't allow it anyway. Because that's the expectation you've set, divine feminine, and that's a healthy expectation. But that means it's the same thing for you, right? So if you are still kind of out there doing things that you know will prevent like a long-standing relationship from coming in, that those are things that you need to look at if the long-standing relationship for your future is something you want. Because some of us, because we were, you know, things were stagnant for so long, it became very difficult to be alone, you know. So for me, I know it's a challenge a lot. It's difficult, but that coffee's coming. So I have a coffee there, and you see the other hole here is empty, but the investment card is there. So they're willing to invest in this coffee. My twin often says, you know, that we should grab coffee, and very often he never follows through. Anyway, that's so interesting.
New text message.
So that's my little guy. So on that note, everyone, I need to get going. I can get lost sometimes in the energy. I've been here almost an hour, and it's time for me to move on. But please stay strong, and hold out hope that today will bring much clearing and healing for everybody. And today's a day to really think about where you're coming from, how you've invested up until this point, and what you still need to invest in order to get to that 10 of Cups. 10 of Pentacles is a different type of an energy, but what I saw come through was 10 of Cups, okay? Because it's that emotional, joyful union, family, all of that, whatever that means to you, okay? It's coming. It's coming. It's being safeguarded. You just really need to do the work to step into it once it's time. All right? And again, I'm just going to, on that note here, with this beautiful energy, with this beautiful guardian angel of yours, bring in that violet flame. Allow it to cleanse and clear your fields here, and to really protect everything that we did today and everything that we want to do in the days and weeks to come, okay? Sending everyone love and light. Take care.